My comrades in gaming, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? Ran for 100 here, bringing you a, I actually don't know what to call this play style. It's more of like a hit the enemy in the mouth before they know what hit them type of style. A bunch of quick jabs instead of, long haymakers. So definitely up and in your face, kind of like Smash Mouth gameplay here. More of like a rush, rinse, and repeat, if you will. So we're playing Kill Confirmed on Plaza today under Ground War. And, I don't think I did too shabby. I think this game's, I haven't checked, but I think it's a few ticks over 5 minutes. Just a shade over the 5-minute mark, so I think I go 49-1. So that's not too shabby in this case. And this is more of a tactical commentary, if you will. I'm using the lightweight extreme conditioning setup that a lot of people are really fond of. I usually stick to Ghost Hardline or Flak Jacket Hardline being my main perks. So this is definitely a little change for me, lightweight extreme conditioning. And this is more of like how to use lightweight extreme conditioning, I guess, is what this video is more about. And as you can see, it works really well for me in this case. Now, I will say, I'll be the first one to say I've tried using lightweight extreme conditioning in other games, and it's just a complete, it's a train wreck. Like, it's a complete derailing of me as a person. I mean, it's pretty bad. So like I said, I've had it both ways. Instead of having it my way, I have had it both ways. So we'll go into this sort of like how to use it, the pros and cons, and my sort of play style here. So let's get into it. So I guess the first thing is we'll start with the class setup just to kind of get you acquainted here. We are using 2 tier 1 perks, lightweight and hardline. Hardline just because I am using these higher point score streaks, being VSAT being my lowest, so I definitely want that like discounted rate for the VSAT. So that explains hardline. It's not necessarily a necessity to use hardline for this type of playstyle, but if you're going for high kill counts, it's like a bonus, I guess. And lightweight just because I do want to be flying around the map, and that's sort of like the whole basis for this playstyle. Tier 2, we're using toughness instead of scavenger because I'm going to be relying on my gun more so than C4 in this case. And, it's definitely just because, C4 can be unreliable if they're using Flak Jacket, and I am pretty confident in my abilities to outgun somebody. So that pretty much is my reasoning for using toughness. Third tier is extreme conditioning. Like I said, the lightweight extreme conditioning, like 1-2 punch, is definitely the premise for this sort of gameplay. So that's that. We're using a vector with silencer and fast mag. Fast mag just because I'm generally going to be in their spawn or around a lot of enemies, and I definitely want to keep that that magazine full with ammo. So that's fast mag. So like I said, this is pretty much like flying around the map, shooting everything that moves, pretty much. So we'll get into the pros and cons really fast here. And now for pros, I would say that one of the biggest pros of this thing is for the opening move. Just right out the start, you saw in the beginning that I popped a C4 over the bar and I got in there before everybody else. So a lot of people don't normally run lightweight or extreme conditioning. So if you get into the bar or somewhere before everybody else, where people usually are in the beginning or like the opening routes, they won't be expecting you, so you can just sort of hit them in the mouth. They won't be expecting you. They won't be ready for you, so you'll pretty much get some easy kills there. Sometimes you get a player or two who uses that, so you might have a little competition, but not normally. So you'll pretty much be guaranteed a few kills right out the gate. So that's like a one-time deal. A lot of people, what they do is they have a lightweight extreme conditioning class for the opening move, and then after that they switch as soon as they die. So that's that. Another thing is that, like I said, if you're going for like a high kill game, or in this case, I guess posting something on something like YouTube, then you'll see a lot of people using this lightweight extreme conditioning just because they can get into like so many enemies. They can find so many enemies just because they're in their base and they can just run around the map really fast. So that's the other perk. If you're confident in your abilities, then I guess this is probably a good way for you to go if you want that high kill count. Now, the cons in this sometimes really outweigh the good. The biggest one that I can think of right off the bat is the use of C4, because C4 anymore is so prevalent. I mean, if you go to challenge somebody, if they start shooting you and you turn around at them, generally speaking, if I was them, I'd probably throw a C4 at the person coming back, and bam, they'd be dead because they don't have Flak Jacket. So that's probably one of the biggest things about this, is that C4 will be your enemy whenever you're using this type of thing. And I guess the second thing is, even though I am using a silencer, I don't have Ghost, obviously. So a lot of times, if you're in something like Ground War where there is 9 people, and there has to be probably at least, 4 or 5 people maybe using UAVs in the enemy team, they get a UAV, you're probably going to be screwed just because they know you're coming. It's kind of offset by the fact that you will be running so fast, and maybe you can still get the jump on them, but most likely you're going to die. So you definitely need that good start to get really good gameplays. So that's sort of like the pros and cons. C4 and UAVs are your enemies, the opening move, and finding so many enemies are your friends. And that's sort of how you want to play this style. Definitely don't go in the middle. Definitely don't like go into that high traffic rate where there will be a lot of explosions. So that's sort of like how you want to play it. Well, okay guys, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Later.